Okay, so hi everyone. Thank you for having me here. I'm in the Magdalene Islands, so I couldn't do the travel up to you in Maine. So today I'm presenting a project that is led by the RPPCI, which is a professional fishermen regroupment here in the Maggies in LFA 22. And we start that project in 2024. And this year we improve it mainly by creating a mapping software so it can integrate tagging data and give a quick feedback to the fishermen concerning all the, the info they needed to know about their capture lobster. So my name is Jean-Francois Laplante, and I was assisted by my colleagues Stéphanie Arnold, Jean-Benoît Saint-Germain, and Nicolas Toupin. So quickly, here's a map that Devin produced last year. It's all the Canadian LFAs. The Maggies are LFA 22 or are LFA 22, and it's right in the middle of the Gulf of the St. Lawrence. And in red, it's all the areas or the LFAs in 2024 that were doing some tagging projects. So quickly, here's a zoom on the Maggies. It's an archipelago of around 100 kilometers long. It's 7 islands, are all linked by sand dunes, and there's a big platter, let's say, all around that goes up to 120 feet. And lobster fishing is spread all around this platter. And we have 8 harbors all around the islands with 325 fishermen. 61% is on the south side. So on the map, you see the south side is at the southern part of this axis that is going southwest to northeast. And 39% of the fishermen are on the north side. Globally, all the landings, the global landing since 2010, they increased about 3 times, so 300% increase of all the global landings. And right now in 2025, we were approaching the 7,000 metric tons. And when you see the landings, it is, and you see the fishermen repartition, you find out that there is per fisherman a bit more landings on the north side than on the south side. And we see it because it's only one LFA. So fishermen, they can change from one harbor to another one. So that's a trend that we're seeing since 2015. Some fishermen, like 1 or 2 every year, are moving from southern harbor to a northern harbor, and because catches are getting higher and higher on the northern part. So that's for the geographical story. And we do have live bottom temperature buoys installed all around the Maggies. And if I focus on one that is on the north side and one is on the south side, we see that there's not a big difference, but there's quite a difference in between those temperature, the bottom temperature. On the south side, we see that in mid-April, just before the season, water is like, depends on the year, but it's in between 1 or 2 degrees warmer. And at the end of the season, mid-July, we can see that the water is way warmer on the south side. So this year we had 8 degrees more on the south side than on the north side. So that's a parameter that all fishermen are looking, and some are questioning: is the lobster moving from the south side to the north side because of the water temperature, for example? So that's why there was a new priority that has been identified by our group, is to better understand the movement of lobster within the LFA 22 and with or in relation with other LFAs. So before starting the project, we knew that there were other groups in Canada that were working on that issue. So we contact some groups, and especially Ben Scissorson and Garen different element from DFO who trained us in 2024 just to make us incorporate the key elements to consider to make that project a success. So every year, for the last 2 years, we start tagging lobster all around the Maggies. Around 3,000 lobster were tagged every year. We use streamer tags, as you see in the picture. So there's a needle that we stitch through the dorsal muscles of each lobster that we tag. And we make sure that the ID, so each lobster, each individual has his own ID, and the ID must be printed at the extremity of the tag to make sure that when the lobster molt, the increase of yield doesn't overlap on the number or on the letters. After that, we record the GPS coordinate and the length, the sex, and the shell hardness. So that's the tagging and the release procedure. After that, when the lobster are released, when the fishermen capture a tag lobster, they have to send us a text message or email or a message through Facebook, for example. And in that message, they must send a picture of the prefix of the tag and the number. The picture of their computer with the GPS, and also a picture with the measuring gauge for eventual work on growth. After that, a key factor for success is communication. So the fishermen will continue to participate to this program if we can deliver a quick feedback, because the thing they want to know is where their lobster come from. So we have a dedicated cell phone where we receive all the text message. We do a lot of publicity, and we make sure to have a quick response, or to give a quick response to the fishermen. And that's why we focus on a friendly user software that can manage all those communication, and to assure that the info was given back quickly to the fishermen. And at the end of the year, each fisherman receive an annual report with the global results and their individual results. So a bit of results. So here in blue, it was all the lobster tag in 2024, and in red, all the lobster tag in 2025. So it took us 6 or 7 fishing trips to cover all around the Maggies. And what we do is that we tag all undersized, buried female, and jumbo lobster. So every fishing trips where we are able to tag in between 400 or 500 lobster. And we did develop a mobile application to facilitate the data input to the database with a Simply app that was developed with Microsoft Power Apps. So that works well, and that could work also if you're offline. When you come back online, you just send the data. So it's easier and less time consuming. And also the cell phone geolocalization ensures the automatic capture of the GPS position of the release. So that's less time on the boat going in the cabin to see the GPS. So overall, we see that we tag mainly undersized lobster, 3,800. Also, we had 1,200 buried females, only 2 jumbos. So that makes us a big total of around 5,000 lobster tag in 2 years. So that's for the tagging part. And after that, as I said, to facilitate the recapture part, the second component of the tool was software, which was developed with a Python-based application. We call it Traceo, and it's built on a local SQL database. It centralizes all recapture data reported by fishermen, and instantly it generates movement maps, calculate the distance, and the time interval between tagging and recapture, and offers a user-friendly graphical interface. And after that, we can directly send the map and different information to the fishermen. We calculate movement by evaluating the shortest way between 2 points and making sure to avoid lands and that's it. So in this year, 31% of the fleet have at least declared one lobster. So that makes around 100 lobster fishermen. And on those 2 years, we had 240 lobster recaptured and declared. So that makes around or shortly 5% of all tag lobster were declared. So and also in 2025 we captured 103 lobster that were tagged in 2024. So that brings us to some results that are based on like only 1 year, let's say, because we exclude the lobster that were tagged in 2025 and recaptured in 2025. So the thing is, if we want to do some trends and more like deep analysis, we will have to wait maybe a year or two to have like more tag lobster declared. But quickly, if I show you some short-term results, if we focus on lobster that were tagged in 2024 and recaptured in 2025, per sector, per like fishing harbor, so on the left side is all the lobster that were tagged with their tag points, and on the right side is the capture that were the lobster that were recaptured in 2025, and just like that, we can see that lobster is spreading from their tag point, and we can see also some dispersion from their spot. And on the north side, they seem to travel less, and on the south side, they seem to spread like more from the south to the northeast. And like lobster on the south side, in average, they travel 19 kilometers in 10, 12 months. And on the opposite, we see that lobster on the north side just travel 8 kilometers. So that's like global results. But after that, we can focus on some recapture and see, for example, their individual travel. So I just got some three examples to show you that lobster will travel and other won't travel. So that's lobster that travel the maximum distance, so 55.5 kilometers. So we went from like the south shore to the northeast, which is still south, but more northeast. That's in like close to a year. So that's it. We can see that another one was tagged nearby, but decided to travel on the opposite side to do a 54-kilometer distance. And finally, we can also see that one lobster, and we see that this lobster was recaptured twice. So the first time he was recaptured, it was like 2 weeks after his tagging moment. He didn't move at all, so 0 kilometers. And 10 months or 11 months later, he was recaptured again, and he only traveled 300 meters. So that gave us like a bribe of information about traveling and different lobster. Like some like to travel and some like their place, or they're good at home. So last slide, the research outlooks. We will continue to tag lobster for the next year because it's really appreciated by the fishermen. We will try to collaborate with other LFAs to understand different patterns and or to develop analysis together. And on our side, we will develop a web portal to enable access from any computer, streamline data entry for recapture declaration, and facilitate data sharing if partner with other associations, for example. Making sure that all our database are compatible. Um, Finally, when we'll have more lobster declare or recapture, we could have like more analysis on trends. For example, trends in correlation of water temperature, prey availability, preferred habitat, or bathymetry. And other question I had is, do females move more than male? Because of when they have their eggs, they tend to like search for warmer temperature. So that's all questions that have to be explored, and all this is to offer a good service to the fishermen to maintain their commitment in the next years. So thank you very much for listening. And this is the little team that has worked in the Maggies for tagging lobster.
Thank you. We have time for 3 minutes for questions.
Hi there, this is Heather Glenn from Maine DMR. I don't know if you can see me or not, but hi. Great job, great talk. I really appreciated a lot of the data infrastructure that you've been working on. As a fellow Power BI user, definitely appreciate the work that goes into getting that all set up. But I have a more simple question for you. Did you get size before and after molt, and do any comparisons in sizes for the tag recapture data?
We have the size when we tag the lobster. So after that, we suppose that when we receive the picture, like the year after, lobster have molt. So when the fishermen take the picture with the gauge, we could be able to eventually calculate the length increase and eventually answer your question. But for the moment, we didn't explore more or furthermore in that direction.
We're just about out of time, Jean-Francois, but I have a quick question. What's the response from your fish harvesters been to the reporting that you got?
What's their response? But they really appreciate the quickness of the response. So that encourage them to declare more lobster when they catch more. And for them, it's a question that has to be explored more and more in the next few years.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.